time and season. And this is Morning Express. It's time for us to look at hot topics. And let me introduce the panel that we have this morning. I'll start as usual with the lady, Zinzi Kibiku, who's a reporter with us right here at Standard Group. Great to have you.
Good to be back.
I love your hair today.
Thank Esther did an amazing job.
I can see. Esther is the makeup artist, just in case you're wondering. And she does an amazing job, by the way, every single time.
What is that supposed to mean? So you don't like it like how without makeup?
You know, that's the thing I don't get about ladies, right? If you compliment them, it always has to reflect on, but are you trying to say that
but
other
you never
times
compliment me when I don't have makeup? Why? I caught your tongue, see?
No. The truth of the matter is, let me tell you what Esther told me, because I actually backbited you when you're not there. And I said, you do an amazing job on Zinzi. And she told me, you know, Zinzi has natural beauty.
Yeah, look at you. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, let's...
I love my
We shall
friend.
continue that conversation later, because,
all right.
yeah, I still have a list of guys who,
Today's hot
after
topics.
you announced, hot topics. To your left, we have Solo, who's been MIA. Solo, Megwa Abiba. You must, were you working on an album or something?
He's about to release something, right?
The ivory burning and all these things.
For a minute, we thought you were banned together in Ivory.
I know wild animals have been strolling Nairobi, so...
Yeah, so you had been arrested on that case. And I can see you even have a wild animal on your
Yeah, it's for them.
Representing.
Team Kenya. So, anyway, good to have you.
Thank you.
Right.
Great. And last but not least, we have Steven Mwendo, who is an editor with The Pulse.
Thank you, Mike.
And a writer with The Pulse as well. And yeah, you decided to take last week off, but I hope you've been good.
Very well.
Okay.
Very well.
Fantastic.
Watching the show at home also makes you see and be part of the conversation from the people. And I think sometimes it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I come
and-
back, I'm just thinking, yeah, I saw you guys too. And yeah, looking wonderful and talking.
Yeah, and today Adhiambo Odera is watching us from home. And yeah, take notes. Give us the notes. Let us know how it is on Friday. Because I think it's different when you watch from home and when you are
Very
actually
true.
here.
It does.
Yeah,
Watch
and
from
it
home
helps
a
us improve. Although one thing I've realized is that, I don't know if any of you is like that. Have you ever listened to your voice later and you think, I don't want to hear that?
I don't until today.
Why is that?
I don't know. It feels very weird.
When you listen to
It's
yourself.
very awkward.
Anyway. All right, let's move on to hot topics. And let me start with Zinzi. What has been a hot topic for you this week?
Oh my gosh. Apart from the big win, the fairy tale story Leicester.
You're going there again?
No, that's
We
not mine. That's
definitely
not
will
mine.
go there,
But
but-
we'll go there. Mine has got to be the Gala Awards, the
Met Gala.
The Met Gala Awards 2016. Of course, we'll go into details, but loved it.
Yeah, I had a whip and look at some of those pictures, and let me just say the Met Gala remains the Met Gala. But
No, really?
yeah, we'll go into details of that. Solo, what is a hot topic for you?
Well, the Huruma building survivors,
Oh, yeah.
after the collapsed building, I mean, I think that one has been very kind of emotional thing, you know. I mean, having someone stay under a rumble for 6 days, and especially the kid who was rescued after 4 days,
Delorin, yeah.
is quite something. And I also was glad that the First Lady went to see them in hospital. There's a good photo of her trying to console baby Favor.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, a nice story. We'll also look into that. And
Stevens, yeah.
Stevens.
The two stories are big stories this week. I agree. And in addition to that, I think it was a big breakthrough for artists also for Safaricom to release around 152 million
152 million, yeah.
to artists.
Oh,
the money we'll be
nice.
talking about since July last year. The money has been released and now artists can now smile all the way to the bank.
Okay, we'll look at that as well as we go along. But yeah, the Huruma story, I think for me, is really also what stands out. And especially because that just shows how resilient we are as human beings first. No, maybe as Kenyans first, then as human beings. But also just the fact that there's been people who have been persistent and have kept digging, hoping to find life. And, you know, it just gives a breath of life to find, you know.
I'm so glad that Solo, you decided to choose that one, because you see, during the course of the week when Red Cross came out and rescued the baby, on News Center we kind of looked at it even from a broader perspective. I bet you guys have had stories where planes crash or tsunamis or earthquakes, and then they find babies. You know, there's something about God and babies and survivors. Even that woman who was pulled out yesterday.
Pregnant.
Let me that's how you know God is real. I don't understand understand how a baby or even a human being in such a condition can stay up to 6 days, no food, no water, no warmth, given the weather
In fact,
condition.
like Geraldine, the baby, they were
Yeah.
saying that even biologically, it defies, you know, biology in that even if she had just fed, she had just, you know, taken nourishment, she would not normally survive that long. But looking at her, I mean, I saw the clips of that were doing rounds with her being given milk. She looked so healthy, so happy. How she survived for that long is just amazing.
And that's why it's we call a miracle. I mean, she was there looking so healthy, looking like, oh, what are you guys doing here? I mean,
What is happening?
Mom and everybody?
What's,
you know,
what's
and
all this
stuff like
attention
that.
all about? Just
You
give me
know,
my milk.
And all this has taken the attention of the whole world. I was watching that on CNN last night. I was just scrolling down there that survivors in Kenya and the situation after six good days. I mean, guys are being pulled. And I just like the headline that the Standard has today. That, do you have it, Solo?
It's there somewhere.
I mean, they're just saying, don't kill us, just get us up. We are still
And
alive.
literally, that was
And, you
verbatim
know,
quoted from somebody who was being extracted from the rubble.
and it's all about, you know, a lot of resilience. I don't know how it feels really to be under there for 6 days, day and night. There's no day and night for you, of course, and you're just thinking, will I survive? Will I make it? And I believe it's a lot of will, and it must be really gone.
But I don't know if you guys managed to see the video that was going around, and I thought to myself, if there's anybody who knows how to take advantage of opportunities or is an opportunist, I don't know if it was just by chance that he was there, Sonko. He was right there, you know, playing with the baby, and I thought, wow, okay, how did he even get there?
First of all, that was so adorable. I saw the video. When they were feeding her, was it glucose or some, you know, milk?
It was white. To
It
me,
was
I
white,
assumed
yeah.
it was milk.
That was really adorable, whether it was a PR stunt or not. But also, you guys are also missing a big picture. Apart from that, yesterday they pulled out 9 rabbits.
Oh, no.
9
yeah.
rabbits.
Yeah, I
I
saw
must have
that.
been really
Yeah.
confused.
9 rabbits.
9 rabbits. And under all that trouble, and 6 days later, after the baby
But you know
and
what,
the lady,
what I was
rabbits.
wondering is, first of all, this was a residential area. So how are there 9 rabbits?
Maybe someone was rearing
Yeah,
them
it's
as a
in the house.
livelihood.
A means of survival.
There you go.
in the house?
Yeah. The hustle is real in
the house,
Nairobi,
yes,
Michael.
it's
And that hustle is very, very real. Because I'm assuming they would not have been in a balcony, because they probably would
was
have
somewhere.
run away. So they were in a room somewhere.
9.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know how they survived inside, you know, under all the
Maybe they were just
the
they were
stones.
still
Okay, I
giving
just
back.
wonder where he used to get food for them, because I think they eat a lot of greens, and now that we don't
Cabbage.
have any more land.
My concern would also be the hygiene, because I've read rabbits, believe it or not, and they have a very pungent smell.
Yeah,
you know, whatever room
Once
they
they
occupy.
urinate, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering, how are they surviving in there?
I don't know. I wish we could get the honor to answer all those questions. That
Yeah,
would
but
be
anyway,
great.
if you think about it, even in Noah's Ark, I always ask myself, how did they survive? When the animals came in 2 by 2, for how many days they were there?
40 nights and 40.
What was happening? Were they throwing out?
I don't
Anyway,
know.
that's a story
I
for
don't
another
know.
day.
That is why Noah had those sons to do all that work.
But still, anyway, I think it's a spur of a man, going back to what we were talking about. As his capacity as the Nairobi senator, I think he was just right there on time. He's a man I know who's very well informed, like on the ground and stuff like that. So probably when they had someone is almost getting rescued, he must have dashed
His
there
guys must
right
have
on top.
told him, this one you need to be here.
Yeah.
But again, the Nairobi governor,
Yes.
he was on record saying that come Wednesday, day before yesterday, there are going to be people who are going to be fired. So of course that's something that we'd like to follow up and find out, will anything be done? Because again, I think it's in the Standard. Yes, it was in the Standard. They were giving facts and figures of how many people we've lost so far because of crumbled buildings. It's over 100. And we keep
That's right.
threatening.
And the thing is, if you guys watched JKL this week, he was there, and if you are following the conversation online, hashtag AskKidero, he's promised a lot. Okay, first of all, he's still going to run for governor come 2017, but also he's saying that, you know, precautions will be taken now. About 6 or 7 more buildings are supposed to be marked. But the thing is, Michael, does something like this have to happen for attention to be given?
action to be
I mean,
taken,
if a building, if the county, the people who are responsible to undertake, you know, such construction matters, be it the architecture or whatever companies, where are they when these things are happening? does a bad thing have to happen for us to get attention on certain things, you know?
Absolutely.
Be it security or in this case, the Huruma building. It's sad that something bad has to happen for us as Kenyans, for leaders to take, you know,
action. Unfortunately, we seem to be a community and a society of knee-jerk reactions where we react to things rather than be proactive, which is unfortunate.
I know, like plan for disasters, you know, plan for the future. I'm sure Nairobi has a map, you know, of where roads and buildings, where buildings are supposed and not supposed to be. Can we implement that?
Yeah, implement that.
And that's why even when the leaders come out and say good things and plan towards tomorrow, it is still not believable. Kenyans don't believe, I don't think Kenyans believe anymore that when these guys talk about this, that they're serious.
Yeah.
And like you say, we just a reactional.
And actually,
kind
I
of
think we'll
society.
get into it. There's a big story in the Nairobi,
Nairobian.
where we're saying, pipeline also. I mean, it's also another accident in the waiting. I mean, a lot of Eastland's houses have been built in a very shoddy way. I think the county government needs to do more. They need to
Absolutely. And you
tighten
know, it
more
is a
on
matter
how-
of
how
life
they're,
and
they're
death.
giving their licenses
Yeah.
and allowing. Do they come to inspect? Do they just? Is it about corruption? Why is this happening? Why
And
is
will
this
we have-
because at this day and age, I don't expect something like that to be happening in Nairobi. Yeah, I mean it's what do we call it? Maybe one of the best cities in Africa now, knowing that we can even have wild animals just around us and stuff like that. But
And running around.
yeah. Well, but safety and all that, I think if someone is sleeping on the job, then they need to be not only fired,
I think
but
bottom
also
line,
face prosecution.
bottom line, what we are paying for is impunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if we were to really just draw a line and say what is this all about,
That's
it is just impunity.
If everyone was doing their job, I think these things we
avoid
wouldn't
this.
be having them.
And moving forward, before we go to the next thing, I was even thinking what we should do, maybe even as residents, is take proactive action, such that maybe by law, before you occupy a building, part of the requirements as you get your lease agreement should be a copy of, what's it called? The occupation certificate. Certificate of occupation.
That will never happen.
That's a Kenyan for you, so skeptical. Why
That will
not?
never happen. Ati itisha landlord nini? Anasema,
Occupation
but-
Umekuja tena Kielele.
But Mike, at the same time, yeah, it's true. But even these residents, I was just following when it happened. The next day, one of the, I don't know if it's one of the leaders there and all that, they said we gave warnings about this building long time ago. The Nairobi city knows about it. The leaders knows
county
about it.
government.
We are told about the dangers in this place. But you see again the situation and poverty and all those things that lead us to the cheapest places in the world
Ever,
and
yeah.
in the city.
You know the risk.
You're just thinking about Huruma now. You're just also thinking about Kawagware and other places where the rains have been, you know, flooding the shanties and everywhere we are. And so you just think poverty and us also contributes to all those things. Like Solo
It
says,
does.
I don't think anybody's going to be asking, you are charging me 1,000 for a month?
Nionyeshe
What
ma.
an India.
What an India. All right, moving on to the other big story this week, of course, is yesterday, as we waited for our legislators to pass the two-third gender bill, but it flopped.
For the second time.
For the second time.
For the second time, Michael. First of all, I am so disappointed, yeah? Okay, as Africa, as a continent, we're doing well when it comes to gender balance within parliament. Look at SA, Seychelles, Rwanda. I mean, we're really doing well. 4 countries within top 10, out of top 10 countries are doing well. 4 of them are from Africa. We're doing great. As Kenya, last week and this week, we had the chance to join them, but we didn't. Now, last week also, I think 9 women reps didn't even show up. First of all, the parliament
Did you
has
say
taken
9 women reps?
9 didn't even show up. 9. I think, you know, 9 of them. Today rather, they're taking recess, if I'm not wrong. Meaning yesterday's sitting did have like a good majority.
Yes, it is normally not very well attended.
It's not well attended. And the thing is, both Raila and Uhuru, for the first time in a long time, we're seeing them agree on something because they said MPs should come together and actually pass that bill. But they did it. It's very sad, Michael. It's sad. In this day and age, I don't know how you men are feeling about that, but it's a
Does
disappointment.
this mean that women are their own enemies, probably? I mean,
To
how-
some extent.
Because that was
For
the
that
question,
was-
you know, somebody was asking, I was following up the debate that was going on Twitter, and there was somebody who was saying women must be their own enemies, given the fact that why don't they use the tyranny of numbers? They are more than men. But then again, there was also the argument, why give women a free ticket to parliament, whereas they can fight it out like everybody else on a level playing ground? Case in point, Wangari Maathai.
Speaking of Wangari Maathai, in fact, there's a time, I remember seeing a quote of hers where she said, the higher you go, the fewer women you find. And Chimamanda Adichie reflected Chimamanda Adichie, the Nigerian, yes?
Gina Mazeli.
Chimamanda.
All right.
She said also okay, not the same thing, but she said for her, when it comes to gender and equality, we have to start changing how we view it, both as men and women. And if you have those two great women who are saying something like that, why are we not taking these things seriously?
But you know, another thing, I think I almost see like if we don't pass the 2/3 gender bill, then probably we might have some consequences facing us in 2017 and progressively some other years to come.
Well, right now it is a constitutional dilemma because by constitution it has to be done.
Exactly.
So one way or the other it has to be implemented.
Exactly. And
If the women can come and vote for it.
it's amazing how we
Yes.
capture that Vision 2030. It's part of our agenda. It's part of what we took to the SDGs. It's part of what we passed. It's part of our priorities right now to get that passed. How MPs would not get that passed yesterday, how women would even keep off. How everybody also would just stay at the gallery and watch this thing not getting passed.
Yeah, we even
was
had
also
some who
something else.
abstained.
And that's why
didn't
at
vote
the end of
either
the
way.
day, it's a lot of politics around it again. And I think that is the main problem that we have. It's a lot of problem. As much as, yes, Uhuru has said, guys, lobby, go and do it. Raila says go. There's a lot of politics behind it at the end of the day. And I think that's the main problem.
Well, let's wait and see how this is going to roll out because constitutionally it has to be done one way or the other. So I guess they have other avenues that they can use to ensure that it is passed one way or the other. But anyway, that was a shocker for some.
Oh my
Although
goodness.
when I was talking to the ladies here, I had an all-lady panel, which is quite unusual. But I asked them, and I asked Gladys Wanga, who's a member of parliament for Homa Bay, and I asked her straight, are you confident that this is going to go through? Her answer was, I am hopeful, which of course now, with hindsight, probably means she had a feeling it may not. Yeah, which is rather unfortunate. But another big story, of course, is the IEBC.
Yes.
And the fact that there has been pressure. Yesterday, everybody was waiting for the press statement that they had promised to give, and that they did. And according to Isaac Hassan, he said, well, truth is, if we as the commissioners quit because of pressure, that would be setting a bad precedent. And that's the question we're asking this morning. I don't know, do you feel like that would be a bad precedent set if they quit because of pressure?
It will be, and I've been very consistent in talking about themselves and the pressure around themselves. We know that, yes, there could be some issues that they need to correct. Looking back from 2012, during the election and all that, and until now, we had issues. You remember the way the machines would not help to tally and all that. And I think that's the biggest problem. For example, the opposition has in terms of we cannot trust you anymore with all this. And they talk about, yes, you're working with the Jubilee government towards 2017. But again, like you say, and that, like they've been saying, really the law must be followed. Otherwise, we'll just be saying, yeah, you can chuck me out of my house because you don't think I should belong there at the end of the day. And I think they're there by law. And unless and until you prove me guilty, then I don't think really I should just say I resign because of pressure.
Steve, I actually agree with Steve. My 2 cents on it is if Yes Squad and other religious leaders are saying that IEBC is not, being transparent, then and they need them to leave, there's a certain way you're supposed to do it. There's a law, there's a certain way, certain measures, certain steps that should be taken in order to disband IEBC. So yes, you guys want it to go, but then take the certain precautions to see it through, to see it happen, not just wake up one morning and decide that the commissioners, all of them, should be fired. I'm sure there's a certain way of doing certain things.
Oh yeah, there is a constitutional way of doing it. But anyway, that I think we'll handle on the way it is on Monday with the politicians, and we'll put them on the spot and ask them the questions. But another story that was interesting was Babu Owino.
Unless Solo wants to have a go at it. Look at Solo. Solo wants to have a go at
his
it.
reaction. The fact that he was arrested. But I'm even lost for words, literally.
Well, Solu's student leader for that long, and you saw, I think he was having a very good time in.
You can see it on air right now.
Right there, yeah.
And I will assume that since he was
Black
in prison,
Label. Oh
this
my
was
goodness.
probably an energy drink.
No, that's not
that he
an
was
energy drink, Mike. But anyway, it looks like he was having a good time behind bars. There was another one where he was swinging, actually.
Yes, I think after he was released.
Yeah, just swinging
bail.
right there. But, well, what to say? That's the Babu.
Can I just point out something? Not even not even talk about Sonu elections and stuff, but I remember you had hosted him once.
Yes.
And he
as person of
said that
interest.
at some point he wants to become the president of Kenya.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah, I do not see how that is happening when that is happening. You know what I mean? There's a certain, oh my goodness.
And
Michael,
for me, the other thing is he's behind bars. What is he holding?
That's a Black Label.
And taking a selfie.
He
I
said-
thought when you're under arrest, you
Your
have
phone-
restricted, conditions.
Those are privileges of the Bible. Those are privileges.
But I think this should just not slip away like that. I think a lot needs to be investigated because even I mean, it's a police station. It deserves its own respect. You understand? You don't go there whether you're going to protest or anything and act like that or almost a face of impunity. He was facing charges of assault.
Towards Mike
Against,
Jacobs?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mike Jacobs, which was clearly there was a clip going
was a
around.
clip that
about
was
it,
going around,
about
yes,
it.
of
And
that.
he has denied. But what was that really? And,
so long-
and why were the officers on duty? And why would they let this happen?
On a lighter note, we know. I'm talking about showbiz now.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the law. Babu is an actor.
Yeah,
He knows what to do to get the attention.
yeah,
We know he was locked. We know now we're talking about the little bottle.
yeah.
And we know that is one of his biggest strengths, that he knows how to twist things around just to make it favorable for him. And we had just talked to Babu like 2 days ago because we'd be looking forward to doing an extensive interview with him about all these things, whereby students have been expelled because of his then opponent, and even the opponent gone, and now he says, I want them back here, which is also controversial when you expect to think, the other guy has gone, and now I'm alone, I can now rule, and he says, no, I want them back. He's an actor, and at the end of the day, even this.
I agree with him, with Steve, because on another different perspective, if you meet him in person or if you know Babu in person, he's a very calm
He's a
guy.
very calm, humble
He's
guy.
a very, very calm guy, from humble beginnings in Kisumu. He told me he grew up in the slums and stuff like that. Very humble guy. Just that he gets into his zone, gets into a moment, and
Maybe
everything
after
turns
he's
around.
taken that energy drink, he somehow gets very hyper.
but then you also
So
want to
blame it on him.
No,
remember.
blame it on the drink.
You'd also want to remember, now after the whole chaos, because it is the background of what is happening right now, we saw this University Senate say that, certain precautions will be taken on Sonu, such as, where they get their funding from, to make sure things are kept on track, even with how it runs as a, student club, as a student. There's certain things that those precautions need to be taken, and I hope that the University of Nairobi will see it
take
through.
that up.
We don't want to see it, a few years again, the same thing is happening, damage of properties. Students are not in school after parents have paid school fees because of certain things. So even after the University Senate said that, we hope that they'll follow it up.
Yeah, we hope that there's going to be a follow-up. But now let's look at other things that were happening. You mentioned about Safaricom releasing some amount of money. What is that all about?
Safaricom, you remember we talking about the CMO.
Skiza, yeah, and
Pushing for money for artists to be released, and of course there were cases in court, and this particular one was in Malindi court, whereby guys had said this money cannot be released because of ABC, and the problem that's been around CMOs and MCSK and the rest about cases around it, and Safaricom released it's 152 million shillings to CMOs and Premier Rate Services, and that was on Wednesday. For artists to be saying
Good news
that
for
is
artists.
through the Skiza tunes, and end of the day, the talk is not even about Safaricom and all this. It's just about bringing to an end the wrangles that have been around artists and CMOs and the other providers that take care of their business, and I just believe that there should be well laid guidelines on how money is collected and remitted back to the artist. Because the problem has been, I make my music, for example, you make tunes out of it, you mint money out of it,
and then I'm
thinking, I just wake up one day, discover, oh, I made a millionaire of you out of my own efforts.
Hard work.
And that's really not good for artists.
But if there's a time when you should befriend as many artists as possible, it is right now. Because they're going to be smiling all the way to the bank. That's a lot of cash.
I think it's good for them. They've worked for hard. I mean, it's hard earned money for them. That's their source of livelihood. And there was, like you said, Steve, there's that conversation of if Safaricom is making a lot of money from Skiza tunes, you know, and this is the same music that our artists have made, it's only right for them, for it to go back to them. Because you see, then they use that money to finance their own music, which and then at large finances the music industry within Kenya.
And that's the only way to grow our industry. We keep complaining and saying, you know, our artists are below par and all that, but really, to be fair to them, they need a level playground and to earn out of their efforts. Because that's the only way to build a brand. If somebody has to, for instance, sing a song, then go to work and hustle, you know, he's only able to do their music over the weekends because really they have to earn a living from elsewhere. The quality, it affects the quality. Whereas if you give somebody that's all they do, 24/7, all they do is think, dream, make music, obviously the quality is bound to change.
It's true, Mike. It's not like we're in America, like, for example, when Beyonce is selling millions and millions of albums and making money. End of the day, here guys don't sell albums at all. The other day, was it Rabbit?
Yes.
Tried to
He was hawking them
hawk his album.
Oh, wow.
On the street.
On the
his
street.
mixtape, yeah.
He would carry it
Himself.
every day
Yes,
and just like, are you interested? I have good music, for example.
I remember I bought,
And so when you just think the avenues of making money for artists, we have very few concerts here, for example, that make real money. If I cannot make money through other means like Skiza tunes and all those other things, then really, that's why many artists are just saying, well, forget about music. Something that Paz talked about last week.
All right, let's move on to other news, and this is mainly international. And of course, it's been going round, and anybody who is a supporter of Leicester must have enjoyed themselves.
Look, Steve has given me like the bad eye. Like she brought it up. Look at Steve. And then there's Solo.
We can't run away from it. And I know Solo was very annoyed
Solo
about
was so annoyed
it.
with
But
it.
hey,
Why?
miracles do happen.
I want
of
to
all-
know why he's mad.
First of all, I cannot pronounce that name.
Leicester.
That's
Leicester.
I don't know how to
It's
say
very
it.
easy. It's
Everybody,
Leicester.
every time I go to watch a game, they're playing,
those boys, I
someone
say those
says
boys.
something different. They say
Leicester.
Leicester. I don't know. I don't like the team.
But
You
if
don't
it
want to
comforts you, if it comforts you during that match, you know, if you go on online, you'll find like, you know, the French and a few of the Spanish guys who are, you know, in fact, they are journalists. They couldn't also pronounce it. Like Leicester. Very, very funny. So you're not alone, Solo. You're not alone. But that does that mean you're still mad that they won?
Thank you.
Are you still mad that they won?
I just didn't understand how that happened.
Started from the bottom. Last year, at a time like this, they were at the bottom of the table,
I
and
don't
somehow they
understand.
just
Everybody,
pushed up.
are you an Arsenal fan?
I'm an
Because
Arsenal
Arsenal,
fan.
everybody, him.
Him.
Yes, I am.
No wonder. Because Arsenal are doing
She's
very well.
nobody's fan, and that's why I believe that she's just
Yeah.
No,
supporting
she's
something
Manchester
new.
United.
No,
Now all
actually,
ladies
I'm
have
not.
gone
Cannot be
to
Manchester
that
United
team.
and supporting that.
And
All
I just-
ladies now have migrated from Manchester. And
You guys
Arsenal
have to. No,
that
it's not even a matter
Leicester.
of.
You can't even pronounce it.
You know what, Mike? We are happy for those boys. All right?
Leicester.
We are very happy for those boys. And the other sad thing is this. From yesterday, their players started to think migrating. And that means next year, those boys are going to go back to their bottom. And so I think that's the end of the story.
You guys are so negative
It
with
was
this
just a
story.
tale of, okay, let's change EPL, let's get a
Evidently,
show.
we
Michael,
don't have
I-
any Leicester fans here.
Michael,
but-
no, I will not have this because one, it's not even a matter of being an Arsenal or Man U fan. Leicester in itself, and this, people are saying this, whether you're a Man U fan or an Arsenal fan or a Leicester fan that you can pronounce Leicester, the whole point is that these guys have a story to tell. Yeah?
That they visited the monk.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, perhaps I
No,
believe.
stick with me. They started from the bottom, and look where they are. They're a fairy tale story. Those guys worked hard for it, and they've shown that anything is possible. I'm even saying to have hope in Harambee Stars.
I think more hope should be in Harambee Starlets, but that's another story for another day. Yeah, miracles do happen, and of course, they definitely upset the whole league, given that nobody expected that to happen. But there you go.
Can I tell you something? There were certain statistics that were given out, yeah? That Leicester's people who are, you know, betting-wise, ratio-wise, at 5,000 to 1. for them to win. Meaning, if you look
Somebody's
at some
lost
of
a lot
them,
of
you know Simon Cowell from X Factor and Britain's Got Talent? He has higher expectations of becoming a prime minister than winning. We have high expectations of finding alien life in 2017 than Leicester winning. I'm like,
Yet
guys,
they won.
yet-
So maybe
yeah.
aliens do exist.
And we have a chance of a fat
maybe
lady
aliens
winning
do
a marathon.
It's a funny, those guys and then Trump. Two
Yeah,
things
that's,
I don't
in
understand.
fact, that's where we're
Trump.
going next.
Yes.
And Trump,
Two things
I
I
mean,
don't
when he
understand.
started off, it was really another fairy tale. What's the
Not
opposite of a fairy
fairy
tale?
tale.
What's the
Horror
opposite?
movie.
Yeah, that's more of a horror movie. But it was more of a joke.
Yes.
Because everybody thought that this is just showbiz. He's probably going to go for, what, maybe a month, 2 months, and then it's done.
That's
but
it.
here we are today, and it's a totally different story.
I thought from there I would have moved to Hollywood.
Maybe.
But,
and
Can
maybe
I-
let's just play some of the clips of that has been happening. Because honestly, this is a story that many of us are waking up and every day and pinching yourself and thinking, is this true?
Is this-
really actually
Will they
happening?
build a wall in
Americans,
Mexico?
now we know who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Gentlemen, you've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account has
Only Rosie
several-
O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't. Your Twitter account
Thank you.
For the record, it was well beyond Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Your Twitter account has several disparaging comments about women's looks. You once told a contestant on Celebrity Apprentice it would be a pretty picture to see her on her knees. Does that sound to you like the temperament of a man we should elect as president? And how will you answer the charge from Hillary Clinton, who is likely to be the Democratic nominee, that you are part of the war on women?
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct. I've been challenged by so many people, and I don't frankly have time for total political correctness. And to be honest with you, this country doesn't have time either. This country is in big trouble. We don't win anymore. We lose to China. We lose to Mexico, both in trade and at the border. We lose to everybody. And frankly, what I say, and oftentimes it's fun, it's kidding, we have a good time, what I say is what I say. And honestly, Megyn, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that. But you know what? We need strength, we need energy, we need quickness, and we need brain in this country to turn it around. That I can tell you right now.
Well, that is Donald Trump, and at that point, I'm sure many thought that there's no way he can be the Democrats' candidate, but there you go.
Let me tell you, I love how Donald Trump is obsessed with China and Mexico. China, China, China. China this, China that. Build walls with Mexico. Oh, that man is obsessed with China. Now, don't get me wrong. First of all, and I'm a big fan of him secretly in terms of his books. Okay. He's a very smart, intellectual businessman. Yeah. And I've read some of his book, even with the likes of Robert Kiyosaki, one of my favorites when they came together and wrote a book. And the thing is, and I think there's a reason why people say they took it as a joke. Almost in all his books, it's like he's going to run for president. He never runs, you know. But this time round, the guy is serious. Americans are going to actually vote for him. In Florida, he managed to get 1 million votes. I'm like, what is happening? In New York, he also managed to get 1 million votes. And now that Ted Cruz is out of the race, automatically becomes...
Although there are some who are saying that him becoming the Democrats' candidate literally gives Clinton a free ticket. Whether that's true or not, again, given how this has unfolded, never say never.
Yes, analysts say that, but I mean, Donald Trump is a good example to show the world that Americans are just humans, just like we are. He started the race just like, you know, like he was vying for Son elections or something like that. And
what do you mean, sir?
I you know, all his scandals on all those challenges they've met in the race. Well, I don't want to talk about it because I still can't believe that he's another example of Leicester.
He's a good example. I just also liked and also got shocked about the way Americans also, was it yesterday? Was it yesterday? It was yesterday.
Yeah.
After it became clear that he's going to be really running for this thing, guys went on riot, you know. And you're talking about guys in his own party going on riot and saying they are forming a third force to counter their own. And I think that's the whole difference that's going to be coming when you think Hillary and him and Republicans splitting into two probably. End of the day, that could be the game changer. But I'm not a believer of this guy. I won't even lie.
Have you heard for him
Right,
political
me too.
correctness, being politically right is not even in his books.
It's not in his book, and that's why everybody now, and that's what Clinton is using now.
Yeah.
He's a loose cannon.
Yeah.
And that's what they say. He's a loose. He just talks.
Yes, stop. But interestingly, even when he was mentioning that, and look at the allegations that lady just literally painted out to him.
Yeah.
And then his comment is that the issue with this country, meaning America, is that they are all too politically correct. And everybody claps. So I think it's there are people who resonate with that, with the fact that call a spade
you
a
also
spade.
need to know that he's been accused of a lot of PR and bringing people to come and cheer him up during his. During his
carrying
speeches.
people in buses and bringing them to the
and
convention.
then now that he's also being supported by another, mentally dwarfed Sarah Palin. That was bad.
The ouch.
Back in the
So
day.
no, you didn't just say that. Anyway, we need to move on because time is not on our side. Finally, Met Gala. I know you really want to go on and on and on about the Met Gala. I saw some of those pictures and I was like, okay.
Right.
It is a charity event and yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a charity event. Okay, not charity really, but it's these celebs. It's a power cocktail. The who's in Hollywood. They come together, being from actors to singers to CEOs of the likes of Vogue. They come together for one night. They raise a ticket. Before I even go further, for you to buy a ticket to show up will cost you $30,000 US. For you to buy a table will cost you around $127,000 US. It's one thing to show up, and it's another thing for you to stay for the party. But back to the whole point. So the gala, it's the whole purpose of it is to have to raise funds for the fashion industry. Apparently, they self-finance themselves. They fund themselves. Last year, 600 people attended it. They managed to raise about $12 million US. Now you might be wondering, those looks are very weird. They're awkward. Why are we having guys in metallic stuff? Shining clothes? Because there's one dress that made me really, really happy. It lights up. The theme for this year was fashion. Yeah. Fashion meets technology, or rather, fashion meets tech. So you had to kind of incorporate that. That's why you're seeing some of the funny, weird things. People are saying Beyonce wore Becky's skin.
And interestingly, Jay-Z was absent.
He was. But nothing. He might have
having
been,
some lemonade.
Did you see that picture of Drake bringing him lemonade during a basketball game?
Right.
I was so shocked.
But again, even as we understand what it was and what it is, because many Kenyans didn't understand, because every time they're just thinking celebrities on the red carpet, you should look all that. And they see, well, they're talking about our own Lupita and the hairstyle, and they're like, what is all this about?
That stood out, that towered up.
Literally.
Like those rumor buildings.
Look at what Katy Perry wore.
Wow.
And Madonna, I think, is the one who stood out the most.
Oh, Madonna. Madonna's outfit was very, let me say, revealing.
Revealing.
Yeah, to say the least.
I think if someone who also pushed it further was Kanye. Yes, he came with his ripped clothes, but for him, he also wore contacts.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
Were they grey? I think it was
They
grey eyes.
were bluish.
Bluish grey.
Bluish grey.
Oh, there's
there we go.
There's Lupita.
There it is.
Her hairstyle, which
Push it down,
caused a
somebody.
lot of,
She's been
talk.
out, but look at that. Beyonce's sister kind of looks like the Crisps. I love social media and how they compare things.
Yeah, she was crispy, so to speak.
I also don't understand what she wore.
But it's a good thing about the campaign that Lupita Nyong'o and a few other artists were pushing for, which is the release and the fight for those Boko Haram girls who were adopted in Nigeria. They're still trying to push on sensitization of these kids because the girls have never been released and no one knows of their whereabouts.
But we saw a video, I think, was it last month in April when not CNN rather, but Boko Haram released a video of the girls. Now the family, they released a video of showing the girls are still alive, some of them. Then CNN shows the parents reacting to that video. It's so heartbreaking. So we know some of the girls are alive. Well done for Lupita, even though she's looking like the Simpsons.
Look at that hairstyle.
Look at the comparison.
Yep.
The comparison.
That's the
social
dress.
media just does it.
That's
for
the
me.
dress.
That's the one
On
that
the red carpet,
You need a charger, yeah?
it looks, yes,
Is the one?
it looks normal.
Or a
In
power bank.
or a
You need
power
a
bank.
power bank.
To keep it lit.
And I'm not sure Kenyans would, Africa would pull this if this was meant to be us.
But I think it's really cool. Instead of
Is
just
it?
a normal red carpet, have a theme and then push the envelope.
Push the
Push the
envelope.
envelope.
There,
Look,
there are
there-
the contacts.
There we go.
See, man. He almost looks scary.
But that's the whole
No,
point.
I don't think
That's
so.
the whole
I think he was
Yeah.
going with a Star Wars kind of look, you know, the eyes thing, I guess.
And he also had some metallic thing that he was wearing as well. But anyway, there you go. That's the
So
look.
look and borrow
And
that one.
apparently, I
Yeah,
think they were
these
voted
ones
as the
are
best
black
couple,
ones.
the best dressed couple.
For doing that.
Yes, during the Met Gala. And well, I think because of time, let us now move on to the Pulse. I think yeah, but that was the Met Gala, and I don't know which was your favorite outfit.
Zendaya, she rocked it so well. Okay, you look so confused. She-
Everything
I'm
was
trying to
weird,
remember
but
which
she
one
did
it was.
something.
She's
She
an
looked so
actor
warm.
I
slash
know
singer.
Zendaya. I'm just trying to remember what outfit she was wearing.
She wore some gold dress, and I think for her, her hair was a bit of a bob cut-ish. Bob cut. She looked amazing.
Okay, I know you could go on and about fashion and how she looked, but let's now look at the Pulse. We still did not touch on, well, Lupita we did, but there you go. Stevens, this is where you take over the Pulse.
I'll take you back to fashion, and plus there's a lot of fashion stuff.
It's been
for young
doing a lot of
people and
fashion
all
lately,
that.
right?
And so you can also pull this away from the Met, you know, and for you to
That's
go to the
on
Pulse
what,
and just
page
see
11?
what
Young and
Esther
Free.
has done. Yes, young and free, you know. Good.
That's on page 10, 11 of the Pulse, Young and Free. Okay.
Beautiful stuff there.
Some casual wear there. It looks rather warm though.
It looks young.
I love it. I would actually wear that.
It looks young.
For me, it would just be the comfort, but I guess it's sometimes freeze and shine or boil and shine, depending.
But it's not just about the looks, the clothes and all that. We're just talking about the stuff that young people are pulling nowadays. And what completes a look is not just the dress and, you know,
The
the
accessories
pants
as
and
well.
all that. The accessories around. It's a whole look that young people can pull, that they can have all those things around themselves. And
Yeah,
stuff
and
that people
Look at
under
that
the
flash
generation will
drive. Can you see
understand.
the flash drive? I
you
don't know
know.
if we have it on that. Yeah, on page 10. The flash drive there with bling. That is
Yeah.
definitely pushing the envelope when it comes to making sure that you accessorize.
Good.
Accessorize,
So there we go.
accessorize, whichever.
We won't delve much on that because young people will buy the paper and get the details about
Yeah.
that. But again, if you remember early in the week, we had some also a little bit disturbing news pulled from somebody's, was it Facebook or Twitter, and it was our good friend GNG again, ranting about stuff. I think you saw it.
Yes, I did.
You know, and we just know where DNG is coming from, and the wedding, and then the
divorce.
assumed divorce for
Divorce,
that
yeah.
matter. And we're just talking about, well, beyond all those things, moments when celebrities are having a hard time maintaining their marriages and all that, we also want to remember also that celebrities at this time of our generation are also coming out declaring that actually they are having dates and they are having wives, something that we never used to see before. And that is the positive bit that the Pulse was pushing this week, that besides all these other things that so-and-so cannot stick in his marriage and all that, many people, unlike before, when celebrities were seen to be guys who just love life and you know,
And not commit
drink
like they
and all
don't
that.
commit themselves to any
Exactly.
relationship. Yeah.
And we're just looking at so many of them that are featured in today's paper, talking about the latest couple in town, Solo's good friends, Timmy and Tracy, and many others. Young guys coming out and saying, yes, I'm in love, and that's something many people used to be scared of saying before.
They even done a song. I think the newest couple right now
Yeah.
in town, Kush Tracy and Timmy T. That.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of speculation since they've been spotted doing tours together and all that. But finally, they come open and they say, yeah, we actually
There's
dating.
actually something going on.
Yeah.
I don't
My
know,
friends-
do you think it's a good thing for when guys come out, Kizzy and the rest, saying we are in love?
Well,
I think it's good.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And more so, well, I think the challenging thing is when it's a celebrity couple and how long they can last. I mean, our own Nameless and Wahoo, I mean, are the ones who've probably
They've stood the test of time.
Test of time.
Yeah.
Who else have we seen? keenly going on for a long time. I mean, only time can tell.
Yeah, well, but I think it's a good thing when they declare, because celebrities, in quotes, are human beings, and they do have relationships. And I think it's also good when they declare that this is the way things are for their own sake. But talking about sticking to it, and one of the celebrity couples I remember, this is way back, that people thought would not last is Beckham. And
Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria,
Oh, my
yes, because she
goodness.
was a Spice Girl then.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, two huge names coming together. It's not going to happen. But I don't
Look
know
at-
how many years it is, and they're still going strong.
With 4 kids, 4 boys, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and they're still going strong. Anyway, back to you, Stevens.
And again, Solo, our good friend, and we've done enough trips with Solo to Uganda for events like this, where we had the Blue Three girls, and they separated some times ago, and we have the last one, Stanley.
Yes.
And she's in Kenya. She's been
Cindy
signed by
Sanyu,
Grandpa
yes.
Records, and this is Cindy. Cinderella, she call herself, and that's her real name, of course, yes. But she's in Kenya, try to recreate her image also in terms of, I'm one of the best East African female artists, and I'm here to prove myself. You know, she had all these controversial moments when nude photos came out and everybody was talking about them. And you know, she says that's a moment when she felt like her career was really going down. And she had to wait until people would believe in her again. And she's coming back and she's saying, yes, I'm still the last woman standing.
Good for her.
She's doing tours around Kenya.
Already,
and
across. She was in Nakuru,
Yes.
I think, last week.
Yes.
At Club 64. And I think, you know, there was a lot of talk about her perceived drug addiction, and whether it was a PR stunt just to make people talk and bounce her back into the game. And I think she speaks it very well.
Very well. Yeah, okay, let's finish off with
You
Pulse.
are aware, right?
And page 15, Six-Figure Lemonade.
Yes.
Yo.
And we just talked about this a minute ago.
Hey.
It's a present today. And we're just talking about this awesome lounge and the controversies around it, which was made actually, I believe now, was meant to push the album. And,
Yes.
and this girl now has all her songs in the album
Yes.
in the top of charts.
Exactly.
Right
And I think
now.
also now PR stunt to sell Tidal, Jay-Z's platform.
Right.
Well, they played the world very, very well.
This is what I think about it now that you guys have had your go at it. My turn, Beyonce. You decided to bring her in. Okay, first of all, if it was a PR stunt, Beyonce and Jay-Z are the best marketers in the
Yeah,
world. I
they've
feel
done a
like
damn good job.
universities
Give it up to
should,
them.
you know, have, yeah, they should have an entire, but they do. There's actually a university that has a course on Beyonce. But anyway, moving on swiftly. There is. The thing is, even though it was a marketing stunt, the theme still remains there. You know, she shows us her process of forgiving, you know, Jay-Z, or not even Jay-Z, or any man, the process I think anyone would go through if you found out your better half was cheating on you. So yes, it was a PR stunt to, you know, sell the album, and yes, they did well. But at the end of the day, I feel like the album still enhances what it's supposed to enhance. Just to show the process that we as humans go through when it comes to that rough time when you find, you know, your best half has cheated on you. You're angry, you're mad, you know, then you start to come to terms with it. There's hope, you forgive, etc. Yeah.
I'm sure they have had moments in life.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have had differences. I'm very sure. And it's so amazing how you can use moments in your life to tell a story. And these are stories
still
that
make
anybody
money.
can tell.
They've done that
You
well.
know, and that was
Sorry, guys,
brilliant.
we'll need to move on to the Nairobian because time is really moving. And well, Nairobian solo, I see the headlines is Clifford Karanja Waitito is dead. What a sensational headline.
Is dead.
And of course, this is, I'm sure, between the war of words between Kabogo and Waitito, which has been going on with Kabogo trying to prove that Waitito actually forged his way into proving that he's educated, whereas it may be questionable.
This was a story that was well covered by KTN.
Yes, Dennis Onsarigo did a story on this, and Moha as well.
Yeah.
Moha as well. And Waitito is accusing Governor Kabogo of fighting him politically by creating a ghost. You know, he says that Clifford Joseph Karanja is long dead. You know, after an illness. But now he's been explaining how he's acquired that Clifford name and Ferdinand name because he says he was from a very humble background. He did not have an English name, and you know he just did this to get ID. And he also provided a photo Because I don't think this is Aga Khan, but he says this is when he was in India studying.
At Punjab
and you can
University.
See, yeah, Punjab
We love
University.
studies.
And you can
Right.
see him, there were like four blacks who were seated together, and the rest are Indians behind there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The small picture right there.
What page is it?
So,
Again.
That's on
it's
page
it's
4 of...
And Waititu says, let Kaboko come with sufficient evidence about Clifford Ndungu Waititu. The person he's talking about was Clifford Karanja Waititu, who was a son of his stepsister. No, so he says, he's clearly shown interest in vying for governorship in Kiambu.
Right.
Kiambu
No, he
County.
made it very clear that come 2017, he's
going to ask
definitely
Kaboko, yeah.
going on to that. Other major stories, so that we don't give out everything, you need to get yourself a copy of the Nairobian.
Okay.
There's more details, there's more pictures of that particular story, so get yourself a copy.
Yes. Very fast on a light note, page 3, which has actually inspired my look today, is, this bush babies.
Oh, that's
Oh
why
my
you have those shoes that you have on.
Yeah,
Okay.
this Kenya Wildlife Service Rangers, beautiful chicks. And you know, some of the hard tasks they are involved with, like pulling stuck elephants from mud puddles and stuff like that.
We've lost a couple of rangers who are at the
Yeah.
forefront fighting poaching, so big up to them.
All right, I think we'll have to wind it up right there, but there's loads of stories there. We also have the story on the building in Kenya, building industry and...
Yes, which is
extensive.
our city feature on page 14, where we're talking about some of 14 and 15. That's the Nairobi and in-depth. We're talking about Nairobi Pipelines Estate and how the buildings have been coming up. And we have some very scary photos of,
what's,
crowded
how people
images
live.
of apartments and stuff like that. And, if this kind of things and standards by the inspectorates have not been put at the required standards, then you can believe that some of the buildings
and one of the things you should also do, maybe on a follow-up to that, this is just a suggestion, is the exhibitions that we have in town.
Yes.
Sometimes you go and they're really narrow pathways,
Yes.
and as you go higher, you're thinking, if anything happened, if there was any accident, if a fire broke out,
Yes.
they would have no chance.
It's a lot of disaster
making
because,
it,
there's been a huge rural-urban migration into Nairobi and a huge demand for accommodation.
Okay, that song right there is the director trying to make her point that time up. So guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Your plans for the weekend in 2 seconds.
Koroga
Yes.
Koroga is
is
happening.
one big event. Koroga is happening big time.
Manu Dibango in town.
Miss ATT Tribe tomorrow, still tomorrow.
Okay. Plans for the weekend?
I have an amazing dinner date with a friend of mine that I'm looking forward
Dinner
to.
date.
And our questions have been answered.
No wonder the hairstyles have started all the way from Friday. It's like a warm-up.
You gotta get
Solo.
ready.
Yeah, there's the Koroga, and then there's also Obina's Instagram part. The weekend, I think these are going to be interesting ones. And then we drive down with Ambusi to Kitengela and have some meat.
Okay, excellent. Until you guys asking me what we're doing.
What are you doing?
Oh, there is Sundowner today.
Yes, we have here.
Right here, started
That's
with
an
one
office
part, but it's
party.
only for Saturday. But anyway, there you go. Well, we'll have to wind up Hot Topics right there. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. And from you at home for participating, thank you so very much, wherever you're watching from. But do stay with us. We've got news updates coming up shortly.